Well, it's certainly possible. It's the most spectacular crumbling of wealth that we've seen since we started doing this. I mean, this is the equivalent of, here in Europe, Amancio Ortega simply falling off of the rich list, you know, Inditex and Zara basically crumbling into a almost non-existent company.
Eike Batista is a Brazilian-German entrepreneur who made a fortune in the oil and gas and mining industries, becoming one of the 10 richest people in the world in 2011. As of this writing, Eike Batista has a net worth of -$1.2 billion. As the chairman of the conglomerate EBX Group, he spearheaded large-scale infrastructure projects in Brazil that ultimately bankrupted his companies. In 2018, Batista was sentenced to 30 years in prison for bribing Rio de Janeiro Governor Sérgio Cabral with the purpose of obtaining public contracts. Between August 2012 and August 2013, Eike Batista's wealth plummeted at a shocking pace. His net worth once peaked at $30 billion, which made him the 10th richest person in the world and the #1 richest person in South America. In today's video, let's take a look into the story of Eike Batista, Brazilian billionaire who lost everything. Batista was the second of 7 children of businessman Eliezer Batista, who was Minister of Mines and Energy in the João Goulart and Fernando Collor administrations and a former president of Companhia Vale do Rio Doce, now known simply as Vale, then wholly a state enterprise. After spending his childhood in Brazil, Batista and his family moved to Europe when he was a teenager due to his father's occupation. They lived in Geneva, Dusseldorf, and Brussels. In 1974, he began to study metallurgical engineering at the University of Aachen in Germany. When he was 18 years old, his parents returned to Brazil. Batista remained abroad and began selling insurance policies door-to-door to make his living. In interviews, he often mentions that the stress and the lessons learned from this experience were essential for his education. Batista returned to Brazil in the early 1980s and focused his attention on the gold and diamond trades. He established himself as a salesman, contacting producers in the Amazon area and buyers in large metropolitan centers in Brazil and Europe. When he was 23 years old, he started a gold trading firm called Outram Ouro, using the Inca sun as the company trademark and symbol. A year and a half later, the company had earned $6 million. He implemented the first mechanized alluvial gold mining plant in the Amazon, marking the beginning of the EBX Group. At age 29, he became CEO of TVX Gold, a company listed on the Montreal Stock Exchange, initiating his relationship with global capital markets. From 1980 to 2000, he created $20 billion in value with the operation of 8 gold mines in Brazil and Canada and a silver mine in Chile. Between 1991 and 1996, the value of his company more than tripled. In 1991, Batista wed model and actress Luma de Oliveira, with whom he had 2 sons, Olin and Thor. The couple divorced in 2004. Subsequently, Batista became romantically involved with lawyer Flavia Sampaio. Together, they had a son named Balder. An enthusiast of running, swimming, and marine sports, Batista competed in offshore powerboat racing in the 1990s. In the super class, he was the Brazilian, US, and world champion. Following his implementation of the Amazon's first mechanized alluvial gold mining plant, Batista founded the EBX Group in 1984. Focused on infrastructure and natural resources, the Rio de Janeiro-based conglomerate consists of companies such as OGX, which specializes in oil, MMX, which is involved in mining, and OSX, which handles offshore industry. Between 1980 and 2000, Batista raised $20 billion in value through the operation of gold and silver mines in Brazil, Canada, and Chile. The EBX Group is also responsible for implementing Brazil's first commercial-scale solar power plant in Tawa. In March of 2011, the group acquired stock control of the Canadian mining firm Ventana Gold, which owns mineral rights in Colombia's historic, gold-rich California Vitas mining region. In addition to its work in the infrastructure and natural resources sectors, the EBX Group invests in areas such as entertainment, technology, real estate, and air and rail catering. Its real estate company, REX, focuses on urban development and income-generating assets, and has a portfolio that includes Hotel Gloria, MD.X Medical Center, and our 3X Loveland Business Center. Overall, EBX Group supports over 170 social and environmental initiatives across Brazil, including historical and cultural preservation. Batista was once the seventh wealthiest person in the world, with a net worth of around $35 billion in early 2012. He often boasted that he would overtake Mexican business magnate Carlos Slim to become the richest man in the world by 2015. However, within a little over a year of his net worth reaching its peak, Batista's wealth plummeted to $200 million. This was due in large part to the numerous debts he accumulated from working on large-scale projects, and to the falling stock prices of the EBX Group. His losses were also caused by a downturn in the precious metal mining industry, in addition to the massive collapse of his OGX company, which was only delivering 15,000 barrels a day when it claimed to be pumping 750,000. Between March of 2012 and January of 2014, Batista's wealth decreased by more than 100% to a negative net worth. In early 2015, Brazilian authorities seized cash and 7 cars from Batista. Since his historic losses, Batista has written about his fall from the billionaire ranks. He has stated that he regrets launching his companies in the stock markets, and that he should have used a private equity model to finance his ventures. In early 2017, Batista was one of 9 individuals issued a detention by Brazilian authorities as part of Operation Car Wash, a high-profile money laundering investigation. Upon his return from New York, he was detained in a maximum security prison in the Rio de Janeiro neighborhood of Bangu, and was shortly after charged with making $16.5 million in bribes to Sérgio Cabral, the disgraced former governor of Rio de Janeiro. In July of 2018, Batista was convicted of bribing the governor in order to secure state government contracts. He was ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison. And that's all we got on Batista. If you enjoyed the video, then feel free to hit the like and subscribe button for more content like this.